Hi there everybody, this is David, and I'm coming to you some good frickin' news about the Wild Arms successor, FANTASIA. And I definitely do want to tell you all about it, and I do think that's worth the sub as you come and you join a party and you level on up with me. Thank you so much for your sub, your like, and your brand new hype. It helps me out a ton. So, there was a double Kickstarter 3-something years ago for FANTASIA and Pennyblood, which were successors to Wild Arms and Shadow Hearts. Now, the Pennyblood situation, that's always bad news. They still don't have a publisher, they still don't really have anything going on right there, but FANTASIA, good freaking news! This is the Wild Arms successor, and honestly, of the two games, I like Wild Arms more, so I'm okay with this. I wouldn't say I'm okay with that. I'm just, happy that the one that I really want is, getting it. It sucks with the Pennyblood thing, though. It really does. I still want Pennyblood. Hopefully something will come of that, too. But, okay, so here we go. The last time that we got a Kickstarter update for this campaign was the delay. They basically said, hey, these games, they were scheduled to launch in March of 2025, but they have been delayed indefinitely. Then they were going to say, hey, we're going to be kind of moving our Kickstarter updates from, once every single month to, once every 3 or so months. And then we didn't really get any more updates at all. That is, until today. We got another update about FANTASIA, and it is a doozy. It is a really freaking good one. And this comes straight from the developer himself. It's the main game developer, and he's actually sharing a little bit more than he should. It says, normally discussing matters like this goes somewhat beyond the authority that he's been given, but he would still like to briefly explain the current situation. Now, here is the best part. He says, we have completed what is called the vertical slice build, which is essentially saying we have 100% completed the main scenario for FANTASIA. It is 100% freaking done. Not only that, the core gameplay systems and various integrated elements of the game are all 100% done. They have been submitted to the publisher. So the next step is to continue preparing the remaining data and the remaining content, connecting all the pieces together and further refining the game as a complete experience. So they have the main thing done. They have the gameplay, the main scenario, the world, the towns, all that kind of stuff done. It looks like they're just kind of putting up side quests and kind of polishing and things like that. So hopefully we are nearing completion like this. This is so freaking great. He's also said that he's asked his campaign team to ensure that future updates follow the planned schedule as closely as humanly possible, so we don't have to go another 6 or so months with no updates at all. Then he also goes on to say that he wants to clarify one important point. The development team is not facing these challenges alone. The campaign team is working alongside us and doing everything that they can to address the situation as well. So yeah, everybody is working together as one group in order to get this game out the door. So this is great. Then he goes on to talk about, the timing of the release and things like that and the scope of what information he can share. And he says that all of that is still kind of under lock and key, and it's all going to be heavily influenced by the publisher and what the publisher wants. And due to contractual rights and, non-disclosure agreements and everything else like that, he can't say when it will be released, but he is basically saying, hey, it's done. It's essentially done. It's just in the polishing stages now. So hopefully we will be getting a release date soon. He then apologizes for, all the delays and everything else like that. So yeah, it looks like FANTASIA is doing really well. And then it goes on to say, Pennyblood report. As soon as we have more information to share on this project, we will. Thank you for your patience. So yeah, kinda really sucks for Pennyblood, but at least we're getting something for FANTASIA, and I'm a backer. And I backed both of these games. So I am hoping that we still get something for Pennyblood. I mean, I'm sure it will come after FANTASIA because of what's going on, how they can't find a publisher. But, this is very good news that we will be getting something at least for FANTASIA. Now, if you haven't heard about this game, let me give you some background information. This is a spiritual successor to Wild Arms, which first came out on the PlayStation back in, like, what, 95 or something, and it actually had 5 mainline games plus a strategy RPG spin-off over on the PSP, and I loved these games. They were traditional turn-based RPGs, they had world maps, they had dungeon exploration, and they had a lot of cool, like, different things. They weren't afraid to try something new. Number one, they took place in the Wild West, which a lot of RPGs don't do. Number two, it kind of had this, like, searching system where you can go to the world map and you kind of, like, search around and then find hidden dungeons or hidden towns or hidden treasures on the world map as well. And while that was kind of annoying, I've got to say, at least it introduced something different. Then there was also something called a migrant encounter system in the third game, where it was like a way to not get into random encounters. And back in the day, like, if you got into a random encounter, you got into a random encounter, and that was the end of that story. There was no avoiding them. So Wild Arms 3, putting that in order to help avoid random encounters was a huge deal. The fourth and the fifth games introduced something called the Hex combat system, which really increased the pace of the combat, and it also made it much more strategic, much more interactive, where you would, like, target the Hex rather than the enemies or whatever. And I really thoroughly enjoyed the Hex combat system, and this seems to take all of the cool things from Wild Arms and putting it together into its own game. And whereas Wild Arms took place in the land of Filgaia, this is going to be taking place in the land of Londendium. And the protagonist, Ingram, says, I'm just going to read what it says about it, because that's all we really know. I figured, like, I might as well just tell you all about the game. The protagonist, Ingram, decides to leave his hometown after his grandfather passes away. He then becomes a pathfinder, a profession utilizing an arm weaponry to rid the world of anomalies. So he's not a drifter, he's a pathfinder. Same freaking thing. Throughout this western punk wilderness, Ingram will make many allies and enemies involved in a battle that will bring Londendum's past and future to light. 2 of his party members are named Uslid and Alicia. Players can look forward to a large-scale party-based JRPG adventure where an enormous world map housing puzzles, yeah, maybe like Millennium puzzles or something like that, that would be kind of cool, sea and air navigation with vehicles, maybe like a sand ship. You know, we had a sand ship in, like, Wild Arms 3, we had airships, we actually had, like, a normal ship in Wild Arms 1, so, you never know what you're going to get. And it says, and racing with genuine momentum is present. Dungeon exploration will have party members using their gadgets, which prevail against obstacles in unique ways. That was another thing that was really cool about Wild Arms. You could use your tools to get through these dungeons. You could, like, plant a bomb to blow boxes or something, use the teardrop to get through a door, use roller skates to, like, skate over spikes, use a lighter to, like, light up lanterns, use a grappling hook to cross these ravines and everything. Wild Arms really did use these tools and these puzzles really, really, really well. It was one of the first RPGs to ever do that. It was a pioneer in that regard, so yeah. Combat will still be turn-based. Using the cross-order tactic system, successive character actions play a key role in the chain order, and disruptive force breaks interrupt enemy turn order, so a vast degree of strategy is strongly emphasized. This looks fan-freaking-tastic, and it was going to come out again in March of last year. It's been delayed. It is now March of the next year, so it's a year after it was originally supposed to be coming out, but it is fully complete, so hopefully we're getting it really soon. But now I want to hear from y'all. What do you feel about this news? What do you feel about, this game being almost done? And what do you feel about the Penny Blood situation? Like, that's sad. That's sad. I want something from Penny Blood. I really, really, really do. Let me know in the comments. And as always, have a good day.